Hello. My Spotify button on my stream deck is not working. It's not working. Strange. Hi Nikki, hi Wolfie, hi Tori. Hi guys, how are we? That's so weird. Yeah, my Spotify needs to be like refreshed or something. Interesting. Alright, let's see if that works. It works now. Okay, cool. I just had to be refreshed. How was my day? Today was the least annoying day in like 2 weeks. But yeah, it's getting rough there, guys. Every day is just like ugh. Hi Oni, excited for Sunday. What's on Sunday? What you doing Sunday? Kiddo went back to school. Yeah, it's crazy that they go back. Well, I guess it's the end of August, so that makes sense. I was gonna say, it's crazy that they go back in the middle of August, but I guess technically it's closer to the end of August now. I was supposed to have a drink, and I was like, actually, I'm tired. I was napping before this, and I snoozed, and I snoozed, and I snoozed, and I was like, maybe I won't stream tonight after all, but like... You guys are gonna hate me eventually. Like, eventually it's gonna get to the point where you're like, alright, I'm like tired of like this. End of July? That's crazy. Minnesota State Fair? Very nice. 16th time, huh? After an hour, they said, let's have a drink. So you drank in? Here we go. Is you drankin'? Alright, we gotta start doing some grindies here. What's this? This is pretty. I don't have that ability yet, so clearly there's still something I'm missing. Oh, where's this guy? Oh, my nose. Ugh. We all need a break from gaming sometimes. Yeah, but I've been taking more and more breaks lately because streaming just doesn't satisfy me the same that it used to. So I like make a lot more excuses to cancel stream, which I need to stop doing. Because the reason it doesn't satisfy me like it used to is because I keep fucking canceling streams. Should I try to fight this guy? I need to get levels. That's what I need to do. Her mother potential removed? Oh no. Alright, how's our party looking? Full, okay. Alright, I guess let's try it. Why is my nose running so bad? Oh, it's been so long. Okay. Wow, that does no damage. Wow. That does no damage. Okay. Well, Oh, that one hit me entirely. That's crazy. See, I don't like. How do you know when something is like too strong? Like they don't have levels on, and this guy does. This guy is another one that does a million turns. I'm not doing this. I hate that shit. I know you can't see. I hate that shit. When they have like 17 turns.
Go again.
Like I don't know if you can see it, but it's all him. It's all him. I wish there was a way to see their levels. I wish there was a way to see their levels. Cause like this is too strong in here. I don't know what to do. I'm like stuck. Like I'm like stuck at a skill ceiling right now. Holy shit. Redwoods. It's been 84 years. I know. I'm sorry, guys. Have I done this already? Oh. An odd-looking fountain. Chroma swirls inside. Pour in 5,000. Must mines created by man be considered false? Many have pondered this question. Most have understood its complexity, but alas, not all. Long had they thought the answer obvious, but the more they pondered it, the more it consumed them whole.
What is this? A crypt?
That's a lot of chroma. Grief is not a burden that needs to be carried alone. Still, it has broken the minds of many with profound consequences.
Tick story dispenser.
Actually, I found it quite interesting. Could we try it again?
Start class on Monday? Damn, that's all my chroma. It's such a beautiful painting. Painted by suffering. Would that they could go back to those days. Would that they could go back to those days. In the face of countless trials, families reunite and they overcome. You have a little break till the 28th. You guys are so good for like going back to school as adults. I could never because I'm just a piece of crap. I don't have enough to do it again. It's gonna ask for more. Yeah, see, I don't have 50k. Is that all that's in here? Why is this one marked danger? You're not a piece of crap. I am. I am. I've been doing it for a long time. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if it was my ass, I'd be like, I'm out. Are these guys hard? Something there. Let's see. Oh, I need some stuff so I can get these haircuts. Ho. Ho. If I stopped, I don't think I would go back, really. Stuck on rocks or something. Oh my god. fire damage. Oh my gosh. This is remember what it was like to be strong, guys? Remember what it felt like to be strong? Took a lot to go back, but I really do want to finish. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's good. Like, I'm glad that... Like, I'm glad you guys have the motivation to do that, because I definitely don't. And it's one of the... Yeah, like I said, like, I wish I did. Like, I wish I did have the motivation to go back to all that stuff. What is this? The first level? Small burgeon. Burgwall. Oh, excuse me. Substance use disorders and addictions. What are you studying, Nikki? Keone! Thank you so much for the raid. What were you playing tonight? Some BioShock 2? That's what's up. Thank you so much for the follow. We do have anonymous follows, so there's never any pressure to chat, but we love having you here. Welcome in, raiders. Thank you so much, Keone. How did you like BioShock 2? I played BioShock 1 in one sitting like 2 or 3 Christmases ago, and then I started BioShock 2, and I never finished it because I was doing it in like a 12-hour stream or something like that, and I was too tired. But I always wanted to finish it. Welcome in, raiders. Thank you for being here. If you do not know who I am, hello, hi, welcome in. My name is Krista, or Pinxel. Most people just call me Pink. I am a fellow Firekeeper stream team member as Keone. Keone and I have played some Night Rain together quite a few times. Lots of fun. So definitely go give them a follow if you are not already following them. If you have to raid and run, by all means, please take care of yourself. Take care of anything you need to do. But for those who are left over here, welcome on in. I play lots of different stuff. Lego games, Nintendo games, simulators, shooters, survival games, Souls-likes, pretty much everything in between. I do have a really quick video that I like to show whenever we get a raid, just to kind of like show off the community, see if this is someplace you might want to hang out, get to know us, spend some time, all that jazz. I will not do anything in Clair Obscur for the next minute or so, and I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you on the other side. A raid video. Hi there, friends. Are you a human being with disgusting bodily functions? Everyone comes here for the PPC, the peak poop content. I have poopies for you. I'm sorry that you didn't get to experience the butts. Look at that donk.
Why are you so excited for this?
And I died. Oopsies. You can't do anything with human meat, which is kind of boring. Put your clothes on. What if you just like collected a bunch of farts? My mom? Are you pooping? I'm a big girl. I do Mordors. No! Do you think he survived? This is literally... Let's go faster! I died. What do I do about this giant ball chasing me?
Chaos, come watch us.
I'm trying to make sure we don't die.
Why are you looking so close?
I wasn't. I just looked down because I could see it.
Oh my god.
He's still rolling.
Cannibal swinging at you, the moose is running laps around you. Don't give me that baby. Do you know where your children are? Will you show them to me, please, so I can beat them up? I don't like scary babies in video games. I don't like scary babies in real life. Maybe let's not say those things on my stream. Okay, have fun, bye! It'll save you hundreds of money on your car insurance by switching to doo-doo-poo-poo. I'm trying to make the poop. Go, bees!
Bees! Run to get the bees!
Oh
It's like hot dogs. What is happening?
Oh, I keep finding these boners. You can have your very own Greg.
It's soup. It's soup.
Where are the Vajujans? I just want to be beautiful like her. I am Cat. I can help you. He's totally dead. He's just standing there. Just because I was supposed to move him. I look like the kid from Stranger Things. You can go anywhere on Twitch, and this is what you choose to do with your time. Okay, game is done. Okay, thanks for coming. Excuse me. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. Thank you for passing on the Firekeeper love as well, the Keepy love as well. That's awesome. Thank you. And Coder, welcome in. I'm already sold W community. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Yeah, we don't take ourselves too serious here most of the time. Spoiler warning, if any of you are playing Clair Obscur, looking to play Clair Obscur, want to play Clair Obscur, I am doing some grinding right now, some leveling and some grinding, but I am late game, so just a spoiler warning for any of you. Thank you so much for the follow as well, and a hydrate. Hi Diablo, welcome in. My cat doesn't help except maybe to fight the depression. That's helping. Brother. Tall. Wonder. The view up high. Another one of those weird nevrons. There's something you want to see up there? Mistress. Far, very far. Want to see mistress. We want to know more about your mistress. Me. Do not know. Head. Fuzzy. Can. Only feel. Mistress. Need to go. Hi. Help me grow. Grow. How? When me ingest, me grow. If me eat skin, skin same kind as me extra grow. So you need to skin some nevrons. Yes, skin. Eat skin. My kind. Grow. So kill and skin the same type of nevron as this one. Might be a good challenge. Interesting. How are you doing? I am doing all right. I'm approaching the end of this game. Just doing some little side leveling right now to get some XP before the end. But I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How are you? Ooh.
Expedition 53. Lilu.
Lilu.
Dominique's other injuries are manageable, but she's been in a coma for 2 weeks with no change. Fuck.
Giant wall of cardboard. She figured she could hop over the bunny pen.
Leave her here.
And she wouldn't leave the bunny alone at all.
Lance says give her 1
Yeah,
more
Ellie's
week.
playpen comes
Dom would have
tomorrow.
wanted us to go on. She'd have yelled at us for even staying this long. It's the right choice. It is. Even if it doesn't feel like it, right?
Have a great
Right.
night. Thanks, Coder. I appreciate you coming over in that raid. Thank you so
Tested
much.
it on some animals. Says it'll be painless for Don. He's preparing a tincture. It's fucked up. Everything's fucked up. But it's what she would have wanted.
Interesting. Is that all that's in here? So do I need to skin some nevrons and come back here? How am I gonna remember where this is? This is crazy. So there's none in here though, huh? Okay, interesting. Well, I just somehow walked into a plant and now I can't get out. Okay, so this is what? What is this place called again? So I have to remember to come back here. This place is called the Small Bull Gloom. Okay, so oops. No, go back. What's this? Ancient Sanctuary. I think I've done this already. I think this is like one of the very first ones. Ow. Ancient Sanctuary. Oh, well, here's one of these guys. See, does this have a fast travel? It does, okay. Alright, well, let's get this guy now that I know how to do this. Where's the... Wait, I don't know where his platform is. Hold on. Also, I saw something here. Oh, hey, there's his platform. Hello. Alright, so, where did he go? There, let's get him to go this way. Hello, sir. Go this way. Go that way. Go that way. Go that way. Hell yeah. I wasn't close enough earlier. The thought of starting to pay back my student loans is what keeps me going. Lol. Fair though. No way, was that really one? Hilarious. Okay. So, what else is in here that we missed? No, what are you doing? Go. No, go. No, what are you doing? Holy. Where does that go now? Nowhere? My master's after I finish my bachelor's is to put up my loans as long as possible. I paid my loans off a long time ago. A long time ago. Are you? No, you're a cloud boy. Yeah, I've already spoken to you. Right. Am I missing anything? I don't think I'm missing it. Does this, is there like a completion percentage? Anywhere? Like, is there like a journal? Not the same kind of journal I was looking for, okay. Like, how do you know if you've done everything in an area? Nah, I mean... Oh, a little footsie. Like, this is old. Like, I did all this. This is like first, second level-ish area. But how do I know that I've collected everything in here, you know? You know? If I use my bachelor's degree, make a huge pay cut, and I'd have to pay my loans back, or get licensed and be able to make the minimum wage. Guys, no matter what I do, I'm gonna have to take a huge fucking pay cut. I'm never gonna get another job making what I make. Sucks. Sucks. Ah. Definitely hit the button, but sure. Sure. I definitely dodged. Yeah, this is old. This is, yeah. Okay, this isn't gonna help me. Oh, I saw a thing on Steam. How do I pull up? How do I pull that up? I saw a thing on Steam that was like, you need to get this sword for Verso. And I don't remember where it was. Are you determined to leave? I just don't see it. I just don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, if that makes sense, you know? Like, I don't see it getting better, and I don't see it changing anytime soon. So it's that's what I'm doing, but like, I still need to like find something after that happens, you know what I mean? Somebody was like, can't you just stream full time while you're looking? And I was like, yeah, but like, that's not paying any bills. Like, People have such like a skewed view of like how this shit works. Like if it was paying my bills, do you think I'd be fucking working? Does the school cost him too much money? No, I think he's just fucked up. I think he's just fucked up, if I'm being honest. Twilight Quarry, what's this? Oh, this is one of those... Yeah, this is one of those ones, map places that doesn't have anything to explore or to do. Alright, I need to look, excuse me, at, this thing. How do I find it? Is it under community? And then is it... Like, I favorited it. So how do I find it? Activity? Here it is, okay. Fly to this small fountain. Which is what? Oh, shoot.
Who's going to upgrade our Pictos now?
I
Shoot.
can do it.
I didn't mean to do that. I meant to look at my map, but my map is the up button for whatever reason. Alright, well I guess we're talking to everyone
really
here.
Enjoying this. Can't rely on. Well.
Okay, guess we're gonna spend time with peeps. He's a man, derogatory, exactly. Monica's thinking... Oh.
Everything okay?
How does it feel? Reaching one's goal after so many years.
Why are you doubling?
At the end of the day, I'm just a gestural. I always support you, but still.
I am sorry, my friend.
I'm not the one you should be apologizing to. I know I shouldn't grow attached to humans. They are ephemeral creatures. They come and go. And when they go,
They never come back.
they never come back. Yet, I share their sadness. I share their joy.
Because Verso knew what you were like outside the canvas, and I know what you're like inside here. You are the most loyal friend, and certainly not just
Wait,
a
he said
gestural.
that I knew what you were like outside the canvas. So is Monoko, like, real?
When I left you 10 years ago, I convinced myself that it was for the grandest sake. But really, I could no longer watch the death
There is a huge ass fly on my
expedition
monitor
after
here.
expedition.
I don't have anything to tap it with. It's light enough for my fucking monitor. Oh, missed. Okay, maybe it'll fuck off. Who knows?
Yeah. I know.
Nope, it's literally back. Why are you taunting me? I think I got it. Oh, I think I got it.
Yet here I am with you again. Am I loyal because that's who I am? Or because Verso
That seems
painted me
painful.
that way?
It's like, that backpack is like chains. Verso painted me that way. You're not any more real than I am. That's a reality I have to accept. No, you kicked my ass long enough. Kicked my ass enough times to know this is who you are.
My
Yeah.
ass enough times to know that it's just who you are.
I'm not gonna tell him he's not real.
That is very true.
Now don't get too arrogant.
Sometimes I wish things could go back to how they were before. When we could play with Claire, Aline, and Renoir.
Renoir.
It felt like nothing bad could happen to any of us.
Good times never last.
Does anyone woke yourself up from laughing so hard they can't remember? They can't remember why you were laughing?
Bad
Waking
times seem to
myself
make
up from
themselves
laughing too hard? I
comfortable,
don't think so.
Well, it's up to us to make sure they go away.
I'm not sure that I laugh in my sleep a lot. I'm not sure.
Want to go hunt some Nevrons? We are. Absolutely not.
I dated
ready
a
to
guy
take on back in the
who
good old days.
used to say some fucking wild shit in his sleep. Like, I don't mean like wild like bad, like wild like he would say like really weird stuff like that just like didn't make any sense.
That would warm my heart.
Then let's go get cut in half.
Let's go get cut in half. Hold on, I have to answer Dirge here. Trying to get Dirge to play some more Abiotic because it was so fun and then we never touched it again. What I was doing or dreaming? Oh, I definitely like don't remember what I'm dreaming a lot for sure. Monoko is touched by Verso's willingness to endure bodily harm to raise the spirits, and Verso knows Monoko would do the same for him. That's cute. Friendship level increased. Give me that 5, baby. You aren't a virgin. First of all, like sharing a bed with somebody does not mean that I'm not a virgin.
I don't usually get this nervous, but I'm nervous.
Yeah, I can see that.
Why am I filthy suddenly? Oh, because I fought with Monoko?
It's not that I didn't care before. I cared about the
Shut
mission.
up, tickle.
Now,
It's tickle.
Now it's personal.
Yes, spend time with CL. I woke me up screaming, leg cramps, other pains. Or crying, thinking the noise was not coming from me. A man touched her sheets, I know.
I'm going for a swim with Esquier. Care to join?
did Esquier put you up to this?
Whatever do you mean?
Whatever do you mean?
Oh yeah, because she can't swim, right?
Esquier's been nagging me incessantly about swimming
Yeah.
lessons.
He did say you're a terrible swimmer.
Esquier.
Well, you always seem uneasy when we travel over water. You should learn to swim.
That way you can save me if I fall. Oh, cute.
That way, you can save me if I fall into the water.
I woke myself
You
up
can
because
save
in my dream I
yourself.
banged my head on something. Thrashing around the real
Welcome
world
to
and banging my
teamwork.
head for real. That's so
What if
funny.
I'm injured
I've
or
woke up like Nikki said with like leg cramps or
Your
like a foot cramp or
hypothetical
something.
situation is quite specific. I guess it is a good idea, though.
It is. Go get changed and meet me at the lake.
Okay.
Verso reveals that he keeps secret swimsuits in Monoko's bag. And a lady's swimsuit as well, just in case. Sneaky Verso.
For the record, I do know how to swim. I mean, I grew up on an island. It's just I have an aversion to swimming.
Oh, I can help you with that.
I had an aversion to Monoko, but I got over it. That's cute.
I had an aversion to Monoko, but I got over it.
Oh, do share your secrets then.
Why is my
Exposure.
chest tattoo?
Avoiding just makes it worse. Oh, I tied myself to Monoko for a month and we spent every minute of the day together. Well, Noko tied us together, but anyway. Now we're best
Oh,
friends.
Noko!
This is your
He's
idea
dead.
of an inspirational story.
I was
Noko's
also
been
the
dead for a
swim
long
captain at
time.
Is that supposed to be impressive? That you swam with other kids 100 years ago?
I'm still a good swimmer now. It's not something you forget. Come on, let me help.
It's about fear. It's about control.
It's about fear.
What do we have here?
We need to help your body and your mind realize that there's nothing to fear and no reason to panic.
Right then. Oh, wise and skillful swim captain. What first?
Just sit here in the water for a little bit. Then, when you're comfortable, we'll go a bit deeper. Then a bit deeper still, until we get to the trees on the island there.
That's cute. Seal gathers her courage and enters the water. She panics, but Verso helps her get over her fear. She begins to feel more at ease. We still talking about swimming? Sure. She manages to swim to the island. Aw, cute.
I did it. I can't believe that worked. Thank you.
And you doubted
And
me.
your little beret.
You are indeed an excellent swimmer. And teacher.
Now, let's see you swim back.
What? No inspirational pep talk this time?
So you admit it was inspirational.
It was... something.
Actually,
They actually put like water drops on
feeling
their bodies
adventurous?
and stuff too.
how about we stay here a little longer?
What would we do here?
What's wrong?
I'm afraid things are different now.
Why?
I can bring Pierre back.
No!
Sorry.
Oh. No, right, of course. I understand. Don't worry.
I
No!
do think we should spend the night here, though.
You do?
Our time together was special to me. Let's celebrate it one last time.
Ciel's a buzzkill because of her dead husband.
Let's, celebrate.
You can show me your other swim moves.
I do have excellent technique.
I wanted them to bang. Ursa and Ciel stay on the island. They spend one final night together and bone. It is truly passionate. Ciel and Verso experience something unforgettable. Bullshit, Ciel. Bullshit. Bullshit. Your husband's dead. Shh. Exhausted, the swim is more complicated. Lol. Your cock block. Swimsuit. Oh my gosh. I like this one though. Le coq bloc. Le coq bloc. It's some bullshit is what that is. That's some bullshit and you all know it. You all know it. Oh, I got the Ciel bathing suit too.
It's strange watching her.
Who?
Mael.
She has the power to remake our world. She's a paintress, but also our Mael.
Yeah. She's our Mael.
Yes, I'll spend time with Lune, who hates me, because I thought I was gonna get some from Ciel. Sensing she has something on her mind.
You said you traveled with other expeditions.
Yeah. Some.
Did you ever travel with the 46?
46. No, why?
Oh, nothing. I thought maybe.
What is it? What is it?
What is it? Lune?
My parents, they
Oh.
They were Expedition 46.
See.
I didn't travel with them, but I have come across their trail.
Oh, they're
You
dead
have?
bodies, you mean? Oh, they're dead bodies, you mean?
Yeah. On Siren's Island.
Oh,
I can show you.
really?
You can't. What do you mean? It's a baguette.
But
It's
don't
French.
expect too much, yeah? Come on, it's not far. Especially now that Eskia can fly.
No. No, we can't afford detours right now.
Well, if you change your mind, we can go anytime. It's not far. On the outskirts of Siren's Island.
Thank you.
Mercer promised to show Lune where he found Expedition 46, Lune's parents' expedition. On Salien's Island, not far from Salien's Coliseum. Speak with Mayal. Ooh. Upgrade expedition. Perfect. That worked out perfectly. Okay. Now, can we upgrade our weapons? I don't think any of us have stuff. What's a full level? 20? No, because that's 21. Dang.
Mael.
I'm getting quite tired of people telling me to go home. So please, no more.
Fine. As you wish.
They're counting on me. I won't abandon them. And I refuse to abandon you.
Ursa notices Mayal looking sad and approaches her carefully.
You okay?
Yeah.
I just always
What's
have
wrong?
tears streaming down my face.
Nothing. Just
Gustav!
thinking about Gustav. And Lucien.
Gustav, our boy! Our boy,
Everyone.
Gustav!
Every time I think I've managed to contain it, a wave comes out of nowhere and drags me
Oh,
away.
she sees.
I know.
How do you do it? After all these years?
They say time heals all wounds.
Does it?
But I guess death heals all wounds too. Bad joke. Sorry.
Yeah.
Death is
Yeah, that was a bad joke.
not necessarily final.
What does that mean?
Gustav lives on in other ways, right? Through your memories.
Dedge.
Through his influence on your life and everyone else's. Through the Lumina converter and his research.
Yeah, that's true, but that's not very comforting when I'm missing him.
True.
Try talking to him.
Gustav?
I'm serious. It helps. Or at least, it helps me. I imagine what they would say. How they would react to things. It helps me keep them alive in my mind.
I'll try that.
Hale is skeptical about Verso's advice. She's on the mood to talk, but also does not wish to be alone. Aww. Verso understands. He sits with her in silence. Hale appreciates the silence they share. That's the best kind, when you could just sit with somebody and like just not even have to talk. Let's talk to Esquier.
Anwar is scary when he's angry.
I guess he's not that different from my father.
Cousins.
Esquier. Verso approaches Esquier with something significant to discuss. Can't believe you told CL about the wine. What happened to not sharing secrets?
I can't believe you told Ciel about the wine.
Yeah, remember he has wine inside of him.
Oh, well, she's very persuasive.
Really?
And
When she smiles at me, I feel warm and fuzzy.
Fuzzy.
So she smiled at you and you cracked. Some secret keeper you are.
Oh, I thought I was more of a wine keeper than a secret keeper.
Well, great job there too. There's barely any wine left.
I thought you would understand. Don't lie. When she
Yes.
smiles at you, you feel warm and fuzzy too.
I don't get warm and fuzzy.
What? No, that's not true.
Are you getting warm? Your face looks kind of red. Oh, and she showed me a really cool rock.
You gave her all my best wine for a rock. Better be a special rock. What's this one called?
Oh, this rock has not yet introduced itself to me. So I don't know what to call it or what its special power is.
Great.
I see.
Oh, but Luna is helping me study it. She knows a lot about rocks.
Luna doesn't strike me as a rock enthusiast. She steal coffee out of my cup, so I got cat milk and I give it to her and hope but she was like no and knock it over, so I give her either cat milk or oat milk and put a few spoonfuls of black coffee and she's happy. She had some last night and I put it in her normal spot next to me, and when I lit my cigarette, she jumped on my laptop smelling and drinking her coffee. That's kind of cute though.
Luna doesn't strike me as a rock enthusiast.
Luna knows a lot about lots of things. Talking to her is super fun. She's so interested and gets so excited. Just like you when we first met. You had so many questions about me and you and your...
You've been talking to Luna too?
Yes, why? You talk to her all the time. You guys are always talking.
Yeah, well...
And you like when she gets excited about stuff too.
That's not what... What exactly are you... No, forget it. We're getting off topic.
You seem flustered.
I'm not flustered.
Want a hug?
Yes. Of course.
Of course.
Yay!
Yay!
Who would turn down an SKA hug?
Versus relieved that SKA stopped talking about what he thinks of Luna and CL, and he secretly touched that SKA knows him so well. That's cute. Giant hug that lasts far too long before returning to the others. That's cute. Alright. Go to sleep. She'll be 72 cat years next month. That's crazy. Okay, open the map. Okay, so it says to go here. How do I put a marker? So this way?
Hang on tight.
Wrong button. This way? What the? This map scaling is crazy. I think it's here. I got it. That's crazy. Okay, so this, it says to go here. Okay. Land. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay. Go to the small fountain, talk to the NPC, and they reward you with 100 color of lumina. Then go to this island where you find a boss. It should be easy to kill at level 50. I don't have level 50 though. I'm at level like 47. So that makes sense. I'm not even level 50 yet. Alright, where's this NPC? Hello. Sorry.
Watch out.
Oh.
Is it looking for a fight?
No. Blanche. You. The ones who conquered the monolith. Best is she who claimed this painting as her own. Mistress shall be pleased to hear of your feat. Now, one cannot stay ignorant to the consequences of your triumph. What will happen to the canvas? We'll stop him from destroying. What you aim to do is unachievable.
Seek fluid intake immediately.
I commend your determination. A similar quality. He who are her creations, we share the same duty to hasten a resolution to their conflict by removing their powers of destruction, by keeping chroma from their grasp. Like little stories when animals have their special routine. Love getting your face washed. That's so cute. Setting additional duty. Incomplete unfinished creations brought to life by the hand of the mistress. Was painted to neutralize them. Why would your mistress want that? Their existence is proof of my mistress's failures, and for that reason I was to erase them. But I could not. Painted by the same brush, cut from the same cloth, seeing their pitiful state, I simply could not. I could not kill them, nor could I help them, as that was not how I was painted. I found myself in the same sorry state which I found my brethren, so I turned to you. Scattered across the canvas, they wander without aim, waiting for help. Offer them your kindness, and in return I shall offer you mine, that is all. Unfinished difference. So you to help 3, but there are many more. My brother does not deserve this fate. So what do I do? It says that they reward you with, but he didn't. I have to find more Nevron? Oh, here's a journal.
Yasmin, Monolith Year 84. My favorite theory is that she's
Hey, what's up? Let me hang out with you.
demonic maths teacher, and this is our punishment for failing at numbers.
It's funny.
A load of superstitious hysteria, but at least we're here now. It's worth it just to walk these valleys. I've barely seen a meadow since Lady Genocide and her poison smoke took up residence. And the sky. I feel almost naked without the dome above us. So exposed, but it's thrilling too. We landed at the exact spot where Expedition Zero touched ground and retraced their route. But there's not a single scrap of cloth or body anywhere. Bloody hell, we're out here chasing shadows. 15-year-old shadows. I'm glad we restarted the expeditions. But how the hell are we supposed to find them? No trail could last 15 years.
So, like, how am I supposed to fucking remember to come back to some of these places? Like, I need to go back to the Virgin, and I need to come back here. Interesting. Okay. No, it says to go over here. Oh, that's far. Okay. Mount. Take off.
To the sky.
Okay.
Flashing through the sky.
What's this? White tree. Okay. Alright, I need to go this way. I think. Yep, keep going that way. Okay. The same for cats. They feel the same way. Or is it an old wives' tale? I mean, it's not the same, like, it's not made of the same stuff, obviously. Otherwise, people would just be smoking catnip. But, like, I don't think it mellows them out. I think it does the opposite, doesn't it?
Here we go.
What's this? This is the island that it says. Yeah, it says, go to this island where you find a boss. It should be easy to kill at level 50. Killing it, you get a musket sword for Verso. Is that the sword I have now for him? There's nothing here. There's not a boss here or anything. Did I fight the one that's here already? I also need to find more of the little kids too. Some mellow, some excite. There you go. See? Mickey knows. Get.
Flashing through the sky.
How do I get levels when I'm so weak? White Sands. I think I've done this too. Tea, epilepsy. Can drink like actual grown catnip plant as tea.
Accord silencieux de nos âmes. Lèvres fantômes. Et râle pâle. Lumière s'éteint.
Who's speaking? Is that the music?
It's that manor from old Lumiere. So that's where it went.
No,
Elle s'élève.
I think it's
something's different.
Sans détour.
Useful.
Songe. Sans retour. Lumière. S'éteint.
Why are these ones marked danger when there's nothing here?
Les rues du jour déclinant. Nuée complice du clair obscur vacillant. Nuance de chagrin.
Not I typed people. I thought you were saying like epileptics drink catnip tea.
Variation dans l'air. Vapeur de nos chairs. Respiration amère. Lumière s'éteint. Contretemps volontaire. Contre-champ solitaire. Lumière s'éteint.
Why is this one marked danger? Or maybe it wasn't marked danger.
Les miroirs s'enteints dévoilent leur nature.
I'm confused now. I'm confused now. Alright, so that's... Yeah, see, it is marked danger. Why?
To the sky.
There's nothing there. Okay, next.
Flashing through the sky.
The dragon? Oh, fuck me.
Ready to strike. This will hurt.
Yeah, it does no fucking damage. That's wild. I would literally need to not get hit by a single thing. That was a... Shit, that was a gradient one.
Did I die again?
Stop absorbing my AP! That's so fucked.
Careful, my ult.
Too late. Yeah, there's no way, because I need to not miss anything, and I've already missed, like, a bunch. Yeah, it does no fucking damage. That's wild. Oh, that's a jump. Shit. Stop taking all my AP. Well, that's crazy that he aggroed me so far away. Obscure. I feel like I'm never gonna be able to finish this level or this game because like I'm like at this like level cap, like not level cap, I'm at this like skill cap right now where like everything is too hard. And I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like these guys are gonna be too easy. Like these are too low level, I would bet. I don't know what to do.
Henry! Ready to go.
This will hurt. Watch out.
Finesse and grace.
Like an on or off stream grind? Yeah. But that's, but like even the grind isn't helping because that's what I'm saying. Like I'm at this thing where like if it's stronger than me, it's too strong. But like unless it's early game, like let's try this thing. This thing's gonna be tough here, I think. Let's do it just so we have full. Okay. Let's try this guy. Okay, didn't even get to. Thunder event. Okay. Oh, no damage. I love a no damage queen. I love a no damage queen.
Ready to parry.
What does it do? Oh! Okay. Okay.
Don't die next.
Okay. I want to retry that one. I see. I didn't realize that it was like a multi-attack. Shit. Okay. No, and then yes. What is going on? My phone is popping off. Okay.
Elements converge. Take cover.
Okay.
Watch out, my owl.
Careful, Verso.
Watch out.
Oh, fuck.
You can do better.
That hit me very hard. Holy shit. How did it make me feel? Normally I just stayed with sweet tea. So many benefits to drinking tea and honey and a little whiskey.
Cut through the blades.
Shit. This is rough. No damage. The timing on that one. That's crazy. See, this is what I mean. Like, I'm at this, like, skill cap here. Like, I don't fucking know what to do. I did the casino already. Cinnamon candy in a hot toddy. Let's try this. Let's try this. What? Oh, okay. I mean, that's who I wanted to fight anyway, but like, how? Alright, this isn't the worst.
Radiance away.
Chrome is flowing. Better.
Okay.
Acceleration.
Is there anything up? No, stop. Get down. Can I go in here? Yeah, I can. Whatever they had, yeah. Ooh, this is a new room in the manor. Oh, my controller's shaking. Oh, is that like the dev team? I bet you that's the dev team. We're in there yet, though. Is there nothing in this library? There's no way. Oh yeah, there is. What? A humping puzzle, hey? A humping puzzle, you say? Okay, well now he just is too excited about humping. Amazing.
Nice.
Okay. So, and then this is the front door. Interesting. Good to have around. I need more levels. Sure you have met folks like that? You mean met folks? Yeah, probably. What's this then? It's graveyard. I don't see anything here. Yeah, I don't see anything here. Chew. Okay.
Hang on tight.
Thank you for the blessies. Live down the road from the moonshine guy.
Flashing through the sky.
Ta-da. I already did this one. Stonewave Cliffs I've done. Wait, is this a Nevron I can fight? Oh, it's the other side of Stonewave Cliffs? Alright, let's see if I can fight this guy now. I didn't fight this guy back then, but let's see. Apple pie moonshine? I'm actually not a moonshine drinker, honestly. I didn't, like, I mean, I saw it, but, like, I didn't know what the attack was until it was too late. No! No! Spit me back out! Give me back my friend! Give me back my friend!
Let's spill some ink. Flames on me.
Let the ink flow.
Spit my friend back out. That's my purse! I don't know you! Virgin skin. Yay, I got a skin. I got skin. Yay. Great. Yay, skin. Oh, hello, random man. Who are you? Oh. Yay. That should be enough. That's 4 now. Okay. Is that 4 or is that 3? Ooh, my tummy rumbling. I might have to take a little break. Yeah, that one weirdo wants skin. That was a big one though. Maybe that's a... Well, there was a small sized one too. I don't know which one that's gonna be. Alright. I have to take a quick break and use the bathroom. My stomach just suddenly went sour, so... I had mac and cheese pizza for dinner, and that just probably was just far too much cheese. Then my tummy is like, what are you doing? Are you trying to kill us? To which I say, yes. Alright, is there more to fight over here? It's like a random guy there. Oh, what's in here? What's this? Justral Village. What's this? Ancient Sanctuary. I'm stuck on nothing. Thank you. This is Monoko's station, right? Or Esquia's nest, yeah, so yeah. That's what I meant to say, and those were not the words I said. It's fine. Alright, I need to take a minute. Or a few minutes. Let's go to camp. Okay, let's listen to... which one have we listened to? We haven't listened to CL yet. Alright, I'll be back in a couple minutes, guys. Put a banger song on. We don't have Monoko. I don't have Monoko. What's Goblu? Oh, Goblu's kind of fun. Okay, Goblu's kind of fun. Alright, guys, back in a couple minutes. Okay. Can I talk to people again?
You're really enjoying. Can't rely on. Well.
Yay! I can spend time with people again.
It is a beautiful evening. The colors in the sky, the shining of the stars. Tonight is a night full of promise.
Is it?
We shall bring Noko back.
Oh yeah, poor Noko.
I thought you wanted to wait until things calm down.
It was 26 years ago.
Who
What
knows
was?
how much time tomorrow will allow? No. Let us give Noko the gift of today.
It was 1999.
It's a simple journey to the
Maybe
sacred
I had
river.
one shot. I was out.
We're not far. It's close to the station.
Golgra won't be happy that you're jumping the queue again.
I'll deal with Golgra later. You helped me bring Noko back once before. Will you help us again, my friend?
Always.
Where's the promise Monoko that they should bring Noko back? The Sacred River is not far from Monoko Station to the north. Okay. Is that going to be a new map point now?
I don't usually get this nervous, but oh, I'm nervous.
I'm nervous.
I can see that.
It's not that I didn't care before. I cared about the mission, but now?
Now it's personal.
Yes, spent time with CL. CL should be max level soon, right? Relationship-wise, I mean?
You never told me. How do you go from being a farmer to running a school?
Baguette.
What? It's not obvious.
The baguette. I'm not as smart. You'll have to connect the
I'm not as
dots.
smart as you. You'll have to connect the dots for me.
It's good that you can admit I'm smarter. Pierre used to volunteer at the school.
Oh, excuse me.
Teaching the kids how to sail and
I think
survive
she
in
likes the
wild.
heated bed.
After his death, I
She's going to sleep much faster in it.
was in a bad place. Being at the school,
Yeah, but she doesn't want his baguette anymore.
But
Because now
at
she
least
wants
I
her
could
dead
feel
husband
his
again.
presence. Hear stories about him from the kids. Continue his work.
Blah.
Makes sense.
Blah.
I understand why your
Blah.
mother did what she did. She wanted to feel closer to her son. To still feel Verso's presence.
Would you have created a copy of Pierre?
Don't talk about him.
If you
We
could.
don't talk about him.
Knowing it wouldn't
We don't
be
talk about
the
him. Oh, my hair's a
real
mess,
thing.
guys. Holy shit.
If you ask me now, then no. I've seen how this torments you. I wouldn't wish that on others. But if you had asked me back then, I would have done anything to see him again. To hear his voice. To feel his arms around me.
Yeah, but he's dead.
Every day.
He's dead.
I just felt the lack of him. The negative space he used to inhabit.
Grief does things. It's true. What's up,
In
Demon?
the
Welcome in.
chair
How are
where he
ya?
sat. The hollow of his
I just
shaved
I wanted
Emptiness
Verso and CL to be together, so I
inside his
don't want her to be grieving her husband.
You want to know why I dislike water?
Oh no.
I tried to drown myself.
Oh shit.
What?
When I lost Pierre, I tried to swim away from Lumiere. I swam for as long as I could. As far as the waves would carry me.
Oh shit.
Until I could no longer swim. But I woke up the next day in Lumiere.
No, she doesn't like to
On
swim.
the docks. I was
She's
alive.
scared of it.
And I have no idea what happened. What I didn't know then, what the hospital told me.
She's
was
pregnant
that I was
and lost the
pregnant.
baby in one. Oh my god.
That I had lost the child.
Oh my god.
See
To
ya.
not know you were pregnant and to find out you lost it?
I desperately want Maëlle to bring everyone back. To bring Pierre back. But I don't know how to tell him. I lost our baby. She would have been 6.
It's not your fault.
Dark and personal, right?
I've had similar thoughts before. Not of drowning specifically, but, you know, it would solve a lot of problems. For everyone. It's a choice. Like any other choice.
It is.
But there's a creature that Verso painted into his canvas. One who always helps people when they become consumed by their dark thoughts.
You mean?
Yes. Him.
Theo has confided her darkest secret to Verso, bound by grief and dark thoughts. Their connection deepens. Reach level 7 with Theo! Dang. Two close friends able to enjoy the silence together. Ciel is inspired by the evening stars. Nice. Now she's got her level 3 gradient. Time flew by. That's sad. I feel bad now talking shit because I wanted them to be together, but that's really sad.
It's strange watching her.
Guys, I need something light next game. I was gonna do Red Dead 2, but Red Dead 2 is gonna be too heavy after this game.
Waitress, but also our Maëlle.
Yeah. She's our Maëlle.
If they fucked again? Wait, she won't talk to me?
She has the...
Yeah.
Oh, she won't talk to me until I find her parents. Okay.
Maëlle.
I'm getting quite tired of accounting.
Oh, we're in college trying to mess with the music on her phone, not looking. Oh my gosh, it's... They walk together.
I found the letter.
What?
From Alicia. I need to see her. I want to talk to her and understand.
Understand what?
Why Maman?
What? Kept her scars? No. Don't go messing with her head. She doesn't need that, and she doesn't owe you any answers.
She's the one who kept coming to me. I think she wants to see me.
Just leave her be. Please.
Verso, you're not doing her any favors. You already destroyed her world. Maybe I can help her. She doesn't owe me, but maybe I owe her. And let's not talk about what you owe her. Don't you want to see her too?
Yeah, of course. She doesn't want to see me, though. Not after... everything.
Then she can throw us out and we'll leave her alone.
No.
Is that a yes?
No.
Great.
It's a no.
If I had to guess...
The mountain near the monolith.
There is a place she loves. At the top of the mountain. Near the monolith. With... the third axon.
Oh. That axon. I guess we're climbing.
She's mostly a giant tower on the island with the last axon near the monolith. Okay, so... Where did they say that Ciel's parent or Lune's parents are? by Monoko Station, right? Yeah, I think this is by Monoko Station. Okay.
I guess
cousin.
Alright, Eskia, you're the last one. No one else will talk to me. No really means yes, don't you know? I almost went to Italy with my daughter's father. I was going to be stationed there until Yahoo Chat met people, and a few were swingers. By the Dancing Accents Island. Yeah, it said it's by Monoko Station, I think he said. I'll find it.
I was afraid the others would want to return to Lumiere if you could fly them back.
That's mean. Sometimes you're really mean. But being mean is not necessarily a mean thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
You're just like Francois.
He'd hate that you said that.
And Francois is just like
Francois is just like you?
What do you mean by that?
Meanies who hide things but who aren't really meanies. Verso, I remember.
Whoa, slow down. Remember what?
Where I lost Uri.
Uri.
Oh, is that so I can swim now? Or dive?
Which one was Uri again?
Uri helps me swim underwater.
Right, where's Uri?
Oh, right. So, where?
I left Uri in Francois' cave.
Okay.
Oh, I'd rather not fight. He was so mad last
time. So far back again?
Maybe if you serenade him.
I have to sing.
He and Claire used to sing all the time. It made him so happy, and you have such a lovely voice.
Thanks, Esk. Not sure Francois wants to hear me sing, though.
I do, Ben Star.
Or maybe you can dance with him. You're an excellent dancer.
Francois can dance. I've never even seen him move.
He wiggles his head.
I guess he sort of wiggles his head sometimes. Anyway, look, maybe we can trade him something. What does he like? Flowers? Fruit? Shiny things?
Oh, I know. We trade him a different rock.
Yep.
A better rock.
Better? How?
We'll make it so it looks like Francois, and we can.
Oh, that's cute, actually.
Claire on top.
Claire. I don't like that they say Claire. Claire.
Sure. Worst case scenario.
Doesn't work, and you have to fight him. Okay, yep. I like shiny things and rocks. Same.
Gee.
I like rocks on shiny things. I like shiny rocks.
That rock over there.
It's cute. Okay, so I have to get.
Ta-da! Doesn't
That's
it
so
look
cute.
just like him? I almost feel like Francois is here with us. All right. I'm ready.
What? You want to go now?
Yes. It won't take long now that I can fly. Let's go see Francois.
Oh, nice. Oh, it is Eski's nest. That's right.
Don't call me that. You have Uri. Why didn't you tell me?
Prove it.
We'll trade you.
What?
Uri for this, lovely portrait of you.
Is that supposed to be me?
I think we captured your essence beautifully.
No deal. You want Uri? Come and get it.
All right, Francois, chill the fuck out. Oh no, it's a 1v1? Bro, I don't even have all my health. I don't even have all my health. I don't even have all my health.
Radiance away. Bring it on.
Ah, I don't know when to dodge.
Oh well.
That's too fucking early again. All right. I'll get that. I'll get the timing of that.
Good stuff. Oh well.
The charges first. Okay, I was late that time. Okay. I'll get it. I'll get it. Very high light damage. Get wrecked, Frostwalk. What's up, Dave? Welcome in. We continue.
Fine. Here.
Yay! Yay!
Ha! Take your rock and scram.
Oh, Yuri, I've missed you. Thank you, Fanfan.
You can leave the other one, though.
Oh, Francois.
He's like, you can leave it anyway. What's the 411 on the Baguette Squad? If you were here the last time... Oh, wait.
He really does miss her.
Aww. I haven't done any story today. I've literally just been trying to get some XP and trying to get some levels and stuff like that. So you haven't missed anything story-wise. But I don't know if you were here the last time. But I'm pretty close to the end, and I am like skill ceiling. Like, I'm not good enough to fight this guy at the level that I'm at, so I need to start getting some other levels. But I'm under leveled. Like, I'm just like, yeah.
I could help.
Just kind of in a little level loop right now.
More than help. You're the smartest and the fastest and the funniest and the bestest and the strongest and the
eyebrow suddenly itches so bad. In like one spot right here. Yeah, your fluffy hair.
Have the
Fluffy soul.
soul.
That's cute. Soul.
Thanks. I guess.
You're welcome.
Pearl Adventure has made the bond between Verso and SKA even stronger. Discovered all of SKA's abilities. Yay! Alright, so I have one more level for SKA to be full. Alright. Cool. So I have to find Mael's sister and Lune's parents. Alright. Check up on the others. I remember that. Yeah, I haven't played since.
SKA?
Are you troubled, mon ami?
When we first met, what did you mean by my terrible swimmer friend? I remember it quite clearly.
Oh, you mean the second time we met?
He saved her.
What?
He saved her.
In the caves, yeah?
Sorry, I'm quite lost.
Oh yeah.
He saved her.
It's fun.
Remember, she just told us that she tried to drown herself, but she woke up in Lumiere. Oops.
First means number one.
He saved her.
Means number two.
Yes, I understand that. So, was I swimming the first time we met?
Yes, you were. Before you stopped swimming in the middle of the ocean. That's dangerous.
He saved her.
You saved me. Back then. Wait, but how?
I heard your tears.
From so far away?
I heard you, so I came.
Ah, I see. Thank you.
Tears again. You sure do like to cry.
I guess I do.
Verso likes crying too.
Yes, I know.
You were looking for someone then. Did you find them?
No. But hopefully soon.
Yeah. I get sad too when I lose my stones. But I always find them again. You will find them again too.
You're the best. Mon ami.
Really cute. That was really cute. Alright, I have to go turn in my little children. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that should be enough now. Break these weirdly textured things. Yes, thank you. Okay, so now I can break these. Hell yeah. Okay, that's gonna unlock quite a bit of stuff now. That'll unlock quite a bit of stuff, because if there was a couple of the the cage puzzles that I couldn't do because they were blocked. But now I don't remember where they were. All right, so I have a couple places that I have to go. So I have to go to... All right, so Esquier's Nest, Yellow Harvest, White Tree, Jestrel Beach. Oh, there's the small Burgeon, which I need to go to turn in some skin. Which I think is here. Yeah, isn't that here? Oh, yeah, it was weird. Weird. I have some skin for you, sir. Hi, I have skin. Will this suffice? Yes, this great. Hungry. Oof. Rest, digest. Later, come see. Okay. How long later? Like, can I just reload this area? Nope. Okay. Reload the whole area? Reload the whole area? Five minutes or next week? Right. Like, how long do I have to wait? Ah! You did it! You're so fast! Was broken. Humans fix me? want you take? Reward. Yes, give me a reward. What are you doing? Don't spit it. That's gross. Hello? So, are you going to see your mistress? Me felt mistress. But what I see up, not mistress, regent. Regent, who's the regent? Mistress paints us. Regent tends us. She watches there, sky. Wait, where's my reward? I don't want to, I mean, I'm gonna fight him after, but like, I thought he was gonna give me a reward. Do I have to fight him for my reward? Oh, is this my reward?
Perfect.
Alright, I guess we'll fight now. I feel bad, but like, no, do not want. Oh no.
Ready to strike.
Oh, Sag, I'm an asshole. Oh shit, I'm an asshole. I need the XP, I'm sorry. Why did it give me the option?
Sorry. No hard feelings.
Sag. I think I just committed hardcore murder. Like, he quite literally was like, no, I don't want to fight you. He doesn't love me now? No, I don't love me now. I don't love me. That was horrible. Why was it an option? Why was that an option? Alright, wait, are you saying, like, I haven't been in these? Is that what that means? So... like here? Hidden what? Hidden gestural what? Where? What? Hidden gestural arena? It was a test and I failed. I failed. I failed the test. Oh no, I did this. I did this, okay. Did I finish this? I'm pretty sure I finished that. Did I finish it for all 4 characters or... okay, I don't know. Anyway. Alright, so what did I say? Where did I say? It said it's... Didn't they say it's by Monoko Station? Wait, there's another one straight ahead? You walk, mate. Oh wait, I can break this thing now. Wait. Dismount. Dismount. And then, hell yeah, give me that. I'm confused. Okay, so on the map, there's 2 icons here. There's the Gestural Beach. So is that different than this? Is there another thing over here? Oh my god, I have to get on SK for that. So here... or is it just because it's gestural? Gestural Beach. So are these not 2 separate icons? Maybe not? Okay.
Let us get wet.
What's this? White tree, okay. Swim, swim. Let's fight these dudes for some XP's. Hello. Ka-chow. Ka-chow. Ka-chow! Damn. Alright.
Let's spill some ink.
First strike. 1, 2. Nice. This. Amazing. Gaming. She's gaming. She's gaming. Alright, I thought I saw something blue here, but I guess I was mistaken. Wait, where's SK? SK's nest. Spring Meadows. Where the hell? Golden Year, Sacred River. Minoko Station is over here. Okay. Sacred River is... Okay, that's where we have to go for her. Okay, take off. Go up. Wait, no, I can go down in here now. And... Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Wait, is that it? Oh, okay. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Take off. Fly. Alright, where am I going? Holy shit. Okay, so I have to turn around and go this way.
Hang on tight.
For a while. Okay, let's see if there's any more swim spots on the way. Okay. Where's that? Alright, I need to go on the snow area over here. Yeah, see, there's another one of those Arbalest guys or whatever that are really hard. Okay. So I'm looking for the Sacred River, which I think is right here. Hello. Ta-da! Alright, is this Sacred River? Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can find Lune's Parents. And if I'm not ridiculously underleveled for this. Which I probably am. Wait, I probably just have to find a journal entry, right? What are these? Are they just braziers? It's kind of like just like braziers. I am stuck. Okay. I have to find Lune's parentals. Which I'm going to assume is just going to be a journal entry somewhere. Not ridiculously, just a lot. Thanks for having faith in me, Nikki. Thank you. Thank you. It's kind of pretty in here. Pretty but dangerous, just like everything else in this game. Wait, can I talk to any of these ghosts? Like, can I talk to you? Oh, I can. The Sacred River, where Jestrels are reborn after death. Oh, this is Noko. Okay.
Haven't been here in a while.
The Sacred River. Let's make haste. I don't want her to spot us.
My Manoko. Eso kimabano for lazy Kelly.
You old lazy retired warrior.
How did you even know I was here?
I can smell that. That's funny. The feet.
Fair point.
Lukito menaru. Naru desejas raro. Rico femikora nisu.
It's a stupid rule. We should just bring them all back now.
Oh, the hiccups.
Sorimoto priva caos. Como coriza magistraro puricono. Luz. Como pumikira.
Can you imagine a forest full of babies? Well, why does she have huge boobs?
You leave me no choice then.
Are we fighting her?
No.
Oh no.
Think twice, Minoko.
I think we're fighting her.
I have already thought about it thrice. Golbra.
So they made her thick.
Trial by combat.
Do I have to participate?
Cause titties.
Please help me.
Please help me.
For Minoko,
nah, that tickled me. Yo, they made her fucking tank. That's crazy. Alright, so let's do this one, this one. Oof, okay.
Let's cover path.
Monoko, what have you got us into? Monoko, what have you got us into? Fuck, I carried one of them.
Let's go again.
Oh, Monoko, what did you do? What did you do?
Let's carve a path.
Yikes.
This will hurt.
Ah! Oh, I just guessed the timing on that. That was lucky. That was lucky.
Foolish move.
Okay. All high physical. Low physical. High physical is all high physical.
Let's carve a path.
Oh, really?
Ah, I missed the third one again.
A challenge.
Fine. Long time a violent one. Probably not a good time either.
Just try it.
My turn.
Woo, that was lucky. Okay. Oh shit. What? That's the same timing as all the other ones.
Must exact revenge.
Excuse me?
Time to bleed.
It's kind of bullshit, but sure. Ooh, that's doing like no damage to her. Come on, get out of here with that shit.
Let's carve a path.
Must rage.
Holy shit. Shit. Shit!
A bit of violence, yes.
I got him,
Watch
not even
out.
half. Shit. Shit, I'm too early. Shit. It's too early on all of those.
Let's go again.
Too early? Oh my god, why am I doing
Let's
it?
carve a path.
I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Not impressed.
Okay. Oh. Okay, I got hit by the third one. But I got the fourth one. Oh no. That's too slow. Too slow.
Almost lost you.
Damn, her brake meter is ridiculous though. Holy shit.
Break.
Oh my god, her brake meter is taking fucking forever.
A bit of violence, yes.
Jesus Christ, her brake meter is taking. Okay, well fuck me, I guess. Oh shit. I didn't know there. That sucks. Oh, that sucks. I lost both of them in the same one. That sucks.
Immediately.
Okay, hold on. Check electronic battery. What is like? What do you mean? But what do you mean? Oh.
Time to bleed.
Oh, you mean like you need to be reminded to check your batteries?
Ready to strike. Careful now.
A bit of violence, yes.
My phone dies every stream. Shit. The second one gets me every time. Ah!
Violence.
So annoying.
I think I'll improvise.
Your turn to shine.
Shit. Got me. Okay.
You're outmatched.
Sucks.
I think I'll improvise.
Yikes.
Time for revenge.
Come on. I've actually gotten so good at dodging. Like, get out of here with that shit. So this might be a waste. Does this not do anything if there's no shields? Oh no, it does. Okay.
Careful now. You're outmatched.
So watching on my PC and on my AC6, I've gotten used to sitting on my pawing chair in the living room. I haven't transitioned back to my office yet. Yeah, sometimes like you just get like same thing. Like I prefer to just kind of like hang out in my bedroom more often than not nowadays.
This will hurt.
Oh. Cool. Shit. Oh, that second one always gets me for some reason.
I'm embarrassed.
Shit. Too early on the last one. Let's just keep healing each other, guys. We can do this. Shit. Second one gets me every time. I don't know why. It's so dumb.
Your turn to dance.
Last ditch effort.
I'm risking it.
That's better.
This is actually getting ridiculous now. My timing keeps being off by like a millisecond.
Careful now.
Why, yes, I'd love a dance.
Shit. Shit! Shit! The second one again!
My turn.
Thank you, my dear. Sweet tasting battle.
Oh, wait.
Cut him down.
Okay, I don't love that it's just the two of them. Like, I could really use, like, Lune right now.
Bring it on. Manage. That's better.
Okay, so now she's in this new phase. And I don't know the dodges yet here. Yeah, see, I don't fucking know what to do there yet. That's wild. Okay. Yeah, what? I'll come back, I think. Like, that second phase, like, that's just crazy, and I can't learn. I can't learn! Got that one already. Okay. Wait, wasn't there someplace else over here? You can't go side to side on the fucking map? You can't go side to side on the map. Oh yeah, now you can? Okay. The Reacher. Oh wait, here's another. Oh my gosh. Oh, Cyrine's dress. That's where I need to go. For what's her name's parents. North. I can play with the cat, the toy and stick. Description of the cats likes to dip their paw in the water and like the water. That's cute though. Okay, so it's this way. Wait, what's this? Cyrine. No, I need Cyrine's dress. Which apparently is on the other side.
Hang on
Right
tight.
here somewhere. Oh, right here. Hello, what do you have? Alfred Facial. Don't I have that already though? Okay.
The 46 are nearby.
Here?
Yeah, but getting to them might be tricky.
When is it not?
Okay. Hello, door? Gate does not budge. And his parents look around. There's nothing that can help open the door. Maybe she should try dancing a ballet. Does not budge. Okay. There we go.
My parents? No. It's Amelie and Christoph. They used to come by our house for dinner.
I'm sorry.
They were good people. Their journal must be around here.
Glissando. It's gonna make me. Well, shit. Well, shit. She's so extra with the flying.
Let's carve a path.
Is she though?
Storm is coming.
Finesse and grace.
Wait, what? I dodged that.
On me.
Oh shit. What does that fucking mean? No damage.
Not impressed. I've lived through worse.
Shit. Oh, I'm blinded. I can't. Okay, that's weird.
I would have lived.
Brace yourself. Danger!
Shit. Why can't I get the fucking first one? I can't bring Mail back because I'm blinded. Or dizzy. That's weird, okay. This?
Careful, Versa.
No longer dizzy, okay. Ah! Oh, I mistimed that. Sorry. Oh, he gets all of his health back. How are you supposed to do this, I wonder? This is crazy. Mick Awful! Welcome in, how are you? Send in let's just try it. I don't know what kind of crazy DMT term. This is amazing. So this is called Clair Obscur. This is a French turn-based RPG. It's pretty fucking wild. What are you supposed to do? Like it's just gonna keep getting its health back. Does it run out of... Does it, like, run out of things eventually?
Lovely to see you.
Fuck. Alright, I'm not gonna see, like, he's getting his health back and I'm dead. I don't know what to do here. Because it gets its health back.
Let the ink flow.
You can't dodge the dizzy. It's kind of shitty. Oh, the tail weakens. Tail weakens. Tail weakens. Just keep weakening your tail.
Ready to pounce.
It does have a banger soundtrack. That is true. It does indeed have the bangerist soundtrack. Hell yeah. His tail is incapacitated. I don't fucking know what that means though.
Elements converge.
Shit. Oh, fuck. The timing's different when its tail's weakened. Shit. Okay. Okay. That sucks. Because I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, the timing's different with the when the tail's broken. Okay. That fucking sucks.
My turn.
Okay. Oops. Nice. Okay, now.
Prepare to meet your end.
Can it not eat?
Bring it on.
Shit. Why can't I get the fucking timing of this shit? No. Dune? I want to get into Dune. I just can't justify spending like $60 on it when I don't have anybody to play it with. Oh, I parried, but okay. Wait, what? No! Okay, okay, it's not a lot of health. Okay, so its tail, breaking its tail keeps it from being able to do that thing and to regenerate. Okay. Okay. Can I bring her back yet? Revive. I can't. Why?
Careful, Verso.
Bring it on.
Fuck, I still, the timing of the third one for some reason still fucks with me and I don't know why.
Let's carve a path.
Okay, this is doable. Just gonna take a long time. Nice. Okay, now let's use her gradient.
This ends now.
Okay. And then... Okay. Shit. Too slow on that one. Okay. No, stop regenning your tail. You're annoying. You're annoying. Can I use stuff yet? No? Why can't I use... That's so weird that I can't use revives on this. Oh shit, okay. That's fine. Okay. Okay. Let's just keep stacking burns. Oh wait, no, let's do mayhem.
Prepare to meet your
Okay. Ah, fuck! Why did he do it slow?
Let's carve a
That was a debate. He did it slow for some reason. Debated. What does Lune have? What is on her? Oh, I'm like stunned. Shit! She can't dodge. Holy shit! That's like a bajillion. Oh no. Okay, it's only gonna build a little health. Yeah, okay. That sucks though. He's got another turn. Shit! Oh my god. Please have a regen, Verso, please. Come on. That's not fair when they change up the movesets. That's not fair when they change the movesets up. Is there a reason why you're just like blatantly missing shit? Like,
I'm waiting. Try me.
Shit, too early. Shit! See, that's different. That's different than the other tail attack.
Fun begins.
That's such bullshit. Me. Done. Yeah, god damn it. Like, I get it now. But I don't like when they change up the attacks.
Ready to strike. Don't regen your tail. Come on. You're outmatched.
Nice. Okay. Let's just keep putting burn onto him, honestly. Shit. Oh my god, late. And Mael's gone again. Wow. Too early on that one. I don't know what my fucking problem is, dude.
Let's carve a path.
A storm is coming.
It's so ridiculous.
Not impressed.
It's crazy that I can't bring anybody back, though. Like, I can't revive Mael.
Not impressed.
Okay, nice. No, don't get health back. Come on, it's too early. And how did the order get fucked up? Like, how does
How is he skipping the, like, how is he doubling now? Okay, and then he gets to go again.
Oh well.
Too early on that one. Shit. Okay. Alright, and then he regens his tail. And then he gets to go. How does he go twice? And how come fucking Mayel just dies so easily?
Chroma is flowing.
Bring it on.
Too early.
Bring it on.
Too early. Stop regenerating your tail! Oh, it's so annoying.
My turn.
Yeah, something happened with, like, the order somehow. And it's, like, doing double in between turns.
Bring it on.
Let us stain them. Feel the storm.
Bring it on.
Stop regenerating your tail, you bitch! And then it's gonna probably eat an expeditioner to get. Oh no, it didn't. Okay. Shit. 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 Oh, I hate that one. I don't know the second phase tail swing. I don't know it yet. Alright, let's do ice on you again.
Feel the storm.
Maybe I can slow you down. Oh, that's a big one. Great.
You're outmatched.
Oh, that's fucking great. Great. That's fucking great. That's Verso's fucking stunned, so he can't dodge. Great.
Last ditch effort. Oh well.
Great. Great. That's totally fun and fair. Yeah, there goes Verso. Cool. Cool! And then he's gonna get health back. I can't do this fight. Like, I get to the same point when he changes to phase 2, and suddenly his moveset changes. I can't do it.
Cut him down.
Okay.
Radiant swing.
early on that last one. Shit. Okay. Oh no. This is new. Oh, this is new.
Oh well.
Shit. Shit. Is his tail back? Yeah, it is. Shit, why am I missing? Oh no.
Not impressed.
Okay.
Bring it on.
What is that? What do I do? It's dead.
Let's try it.
What? 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 Where the fuck do they come from? Oh yeah, they dodge because they're flying. Shit, okay. Okay.
I'm waiting.
How? No. How did that not hit on the jump attack? Oh, that's bullshit. I'm not trying it again. It's at midnight. I'm not trying it again tonight. But that's bullshit. That's doable. That's the one part that's really bullshit is that I couldn't even see. Like I couldn't even see where like the attacks were coming from when the like 3 ladies like spawned in. That was kind of crazy. That was kind of crazy. All right. Let's see if any pals are on. I think Dirge was streaming. So Dirge and I are supposed to play Abiotic Factor tomorrow. So there might be a little extra stream tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna stream or not, but there might be. Let's see. Dirge is on, but he's doing just chatting, and sometimes he gets a little too deep. Yeah, he's watching Hassan Piker, which means he's talking politics, which means I don't want to go. Okay. Trem is playing, what is this? The Paynes Creek what? Oh no, Trem's leaving, it looks like. Okay. I think I saw Victoria's doing Borderlands 3. We can raid Victoria. Yeah, let's raid Victoria. She's playing Borderlands 3. Just one of my favorites. One of my favorites.
I should replay the Borderlands games before 4 comes out, but I definitely won't have enough time. Alright, yeah, like I said, most likely extra stream tomorrow because I am playing Abiotic with Dirge. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. Go give Vic some love. I love Vic. She's one of my favorite streamers. If you guys don't, then something's wrong with you. Wasn't you and Gigi gonna do it? Abiotic Factor? No, Dirge and I started it during my streamathon. But yeah, everyone go hang out with Victoria, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, no, Borderlands? Yeah. But I was saying, like, there's not enough time to play through, there's not enough time to play through all of them before the new one comes out next month. But yeah. See you guys, get good sleepies, all that jazz. Bye! Go say hi to Vic!